Council. Are you ready, Zach? We're live. All right. Let me go ahead and call this meeting to order. And Paula, if you can actually show it, 6:30 p.m. And we'll go ahead and get started with roll call, please.
District 1 Alderman Miguel Aguirre.
Here.
District 2 Alderman Richard Hughes.
Here.
District 3 Alderman David Emery.
Here.
District 4 Alderman Michael Rodriguez.
Here.
And District 5 Alderman Matthew Martinez.
Here. All right. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please rise for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to number 4, citizens to be heard. This is the opportunity for citizens, visitors, and guests to address the City Council on any issue or any item on the agenda in compliance with LGC Section 551.007. City Council may not discuss any presented issue, nor may any action be taken on any issue at this time. Citizens to be heard are limited to 3 minutes each. Attorney General Opinion JC-0169. Zach and Paula, I don't think we have anybody signed up, right? Nope, don't have any signed up, but I still want to go ahead and offer. Anybody interested to be heard? Going once, going twice. All right, no comments, Paula, if you can please make note of that. Okay, and let's go ahead and move on to number 5. This is a consent agenda. Consider the approval of the minutes, August the 12th, 2024.
Mayor, I want to start by making a motion to approve the meeting minutes for August the 12th, 2024, as presented.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Got a second? Okay, discussion now. Okay, if there is no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yeas, take it. Approval of the minutes. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to B. Consider approval of the payment of the bills.
Mayor, I want to start by making a motion to approve the payment of bills as presented.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Got a second? Okay. Have any discussion?
I have a question on the
Okay.
Civic Plus. I see there's 2 different separate buildings. One is for the renewal of the hosting and support. The other one is for the actual permit. I could understand that we have to do the permit. What's the hosting and support? Do we have to have that? Is it necessary for us to be able to post something? That's the actual website, but that's going through them. Okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas. Thank you so much, Council. Let's go ahead and move on into item number 6, open session, take action of items discussed. This is A, consideration and possible action concerning ordinance number 24-22, an ordinance of the City of Lytle, Texas, approving the 2024 certified appraisal rolls, providing for incorporation of preamble, providing a repeater, a savings clause, and a severity clause, and providing an effective date.
All right, Mayor and Council, as a part of the end of year or the start of the new year process, you are required to approve the certified values as presented for the City of Lytle. And the full roll, given the 3 counties, is $1,168,945.02. And so we are obviously asking that Council approve that as required per state law.
Okay. And for this one, we need to do a recorded vote?
This one's just a regular vote.
Just a regular vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Move that we approve ordinance 24-22 as presented.
Okay. Have a motion for us to go ahead and approve the resolution 24
You have to second it.
22nd with the effective date of today. Okay.
I'll second it.
You have a second? Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all yeas, thank you. Let's go ahead and move on to a public hearing. This is item number 7. This is to conduct a public hearing concerning the proposed fiscal year 2024 to 2025 annual budget. And Paula, if you can actually please show us going into the public hearing at 6:35 p.m. And I'll turn it over to Zach.
So Mayor and Council, as required under state law, we are required to have a public hearing for the proposed budget. The notices were sent in the newspaper as required per state law for this evening to be held that public hearing. You do have to hold this public hearing before you can actually adopt the budget, which would be the next particular item on the agenda. So I don't really have anything else to add.
Okay.
So
And once again, this is a public hearing, so this is giving our residents an opportunity. I'll go ahead and open up. Any comments? Anybody? Okay. So Paola, if you can please annotate in there, no comments in this public hearing. And
he did.
I'm going to go ahead and show at 6:36. We're going to go ahead and show it as being closed. Okay, we'll close our public hearing. Okay, council, let's go ahead and move on to item number 8. This is the open session. Take action on items discussed. A, consideration and possible action concerning ordinance number 24-23, an ordinance of the City of Lytle, Texas, approving and adopting a budget for the City of Lytle, Texas for fiscal year 2024 to 2025, making appropriations for the city for such fiscal year as reflected in said budget, providing for incorporation of preamble, making certain findings and containing certain provisions relating to the subject, providing a repealer, a savings clause, and a severity clause, and providing an effective date. Zach?
All right, so Mayor and Council, the budget is presented for your consideration for the 24-25 fiscal year. This budget is largely what was presented at the last budget workshop. I would just like to highlight a couple items for y'all. On page 15, we do have the general fund summary, page 15 of the budget, and that does show a completely balanced budget as proposed. The page 16 does go through the general fund revenues, obviously highlighting our largest percentage of revenues coming from sales tax and property taxes. On page 19 is a breakdown of all the departments in the general fund and the expenditures by department. Obviously, administration containing most of those, everything from City Hall and utility and that stuff, and then police department following that particular. On page 35, you will see the one thing that y'all did not have in the last time it was presented was the stormwater utility fund revenue and expenditure for that new utility. I will let you know that these revenues are estimated, and we will probably have to do an amendment sometime in March or April. Just with we're working on the billing information, and as we kind of flush some of those things out and we see where everything hits, then we'll be able to get some more accurate numbers. So we'll be able to adjust accordingly as we go through. But we needed to get it into the budget for y'all to adopt something at this point. And so those numbers come from talking with Kimley Horn and Matthew Garrett with New Gen. So everything else, again, is the same. I did include the master fee schedule. I know we talked about it. The only thing that was included with this master fee schedule is things that we definitely all agreed upon. There were things that were removed, and I would still like to have another conversation. I'm just waiting for information from AOCA and some other people on that. But I wanted to at least get the base information in there, so everything that we discussed at the last budget workshop is included, and everything that was agreed upon by council, including the moving of the animal control fees up, and we indicated the simple permit in there as well. and signifying what that entailed. So above ground pools, sheds, fences 6 feet and below. And then we did add some stuff on the police side, just certifying the pulling out certificate of occupancy as its own line item at the same $25, and the food handlers, the fire safety inspection associated with that at $25 as well. Other than that, everything else should be the same. Go ahead.
Did you have something? No? Oh, okay. Had a question because I must have missed it completely. Banner placement.
Yes. That would be if somebody wanted to put a banner across the roadway.
I don't think we've been.
Well, we used to do that, but text evidently changed some of the requirements.
Yeah.
That's why we don't do that much anymore, from my memory.
Yeah, so we might not be able to do that. I know over here at HEB, one of the utility poles was taken out, so we can't do it there.
Yeah.
And I want to, yeah, and the one over here, yep, those are the ones that I think TxDOT said, right? I pretty much put a squash on that.
I would say we can leave it in, and as we make some of those other adjustments, when I bring it back to you, we can go ahead and remove it at that
Please,
time.
I didn't catch it before. For some
Yeah.
reason right now, it caught my eye and I was like, ooh,
No
maybe we
worries.
have somewhere
I'll
else.
make a note of it for when we
Yeah.
bring it back up.
Well, it's TxDOT that approves it, but then it would be our public works that would be responsible, or we have to contract somebody with a
With the fire
bucket
department. And,
to come in and actually put it. Well, the thing is, TxDOT said that we can't do it on the road. That's the thing. The last time that we tackled this, maybe about 6 years ago, TxDOT said that we couldn't put them because of height. We would actually we have to put new poles. They have to be higher. There's certain parameters. All we had was basically 2 wooden poles with a wire across it, correct? And it has to have different type of equipment to be able to attach it and be able to do that.
We need to look at other towns that do it. See what they do.
They also had some other regulations about putting up people's names or something odd, you know, you couldn't, it was kind of strange.
Seems like we're the only town that don't do it.
And you're correct, but once again, we do not have the right poles. We don't have the right equipment to be able to do that. So we would have to incur the costs to be able to do that, along with buying the banner. So the $75, that's basically somebody wanting to get. So that's per banner. So you still have to get the banners done. They have to be done a certain way. They have to be put up at a certain time. You got to bring them down at a certain time. I think we would probably need to look. I'm not saying no, but I think it's a bigger thing before we say yes to incorporate, because that means that we would need to get a truck with a bucket. We got to get more people in public works to be able to do that. If you go over to Castroville and they do it, they're always putting stuff up and down. Always do. So I think we need to do a study before that. But let's go back to what we're looking at in the budget and
Well,
take a look at that.
that was the only thing I had, Mayor. Just to note that this would need to be a record vote when we do approve it.
Yes, that's
Hopefully,
correct.
If y'all approve it.
So just to go back for a second,
Yeah.
I agree. If we have it in the fees, then we allow it. If we don't have it in there, then it's not allowed. So we need to take a
Yes.
close look at that.
Yes.
I want to commend the city on this budget. Excellent, excellent. It's by far the best budget we've seen. And I'm not talking numbers, I'm talking about the format. The numbers are great. You guys went above and beyond. But I love my little pie charts. It gives you a good aspect of what money is being spent on in the city.
sure.
It's a real nice visual. I want anybody that has a question on our budget, please come to the office, ask to look at it. I don't know if you provide a copy if they
We would,
request.
yeah. It's a public
But
document.
definitely will answer all your questions, see where money is being spent.
Yeah.
But thank you. It was very nice budget. Thank you
And I got to echo, I mean, this is great product.
by far.
Very, very easy to understand, be able to get an idea of the different areas. I think it's not only for the public, but it's also good for our departments. It's a good tool to actually use as a referral to be able to take a look at it. So I think it's a good thing overall. So great job. Really appreciate that, Zach. Yes. Yep. So with that in mind, let me go ahead and, I'll just go ahead and, I need to get a motion for us to go ahead and do this.
I'll make a motion there to approve ordinance 2423 as presented in the agenda with today's effective date.
Okay,
I'll
So-
second that, Mayor.
I have a second. Any further,
Molly is asking, it would be better if you read the whole caption on this one.
Okay,
So,
I can, that's no problem. The one that's in the agenda, right?
yes.
Okay, now I move that we approve ordinance 2423, an ordinance of the city of Lidle, Texas, approving and adopting a budget for the city of Lidle, Texas for fiscal year 2024-2025, making appropriations for the city for such fiscal year as reflected in said budget, providing for incorporation of preamble making certain findings and containing certain provisions relating to the subject, providing a repealer, a savings clause and a severability clause, and providing an effective date of today, the 23rd of September, 2024.
got a
And
mo-
I'll go ahead with my second on that,
Okay.
Mayor.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, so just like it was stated, it's going to be a recorded vote. So Paola, if you want to go ahead and go around the room.
District 1 Alderman Miguel Aguirre.
Aye.
District 2 Alderman Richard Hughes. District 3 Alderman David Emery.
Aye.
District 4 Alderman Michael Rodriguez.
Aye.
And District 5 Alderman Matthew Martinez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All yeas. Thank you so much. Motion passes. Thank you. Appreciate that, council. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to B. This is consideration and possible action concerning the ratification of increased property tax revenues reflected in the fiscal year 2024-2025 annual budget adopted persistent to ordinance number 24-23.
All right, so Mayor and Council, obviously with the budget that is adopted, we are increasing the property tax rate slightly. And so based on that, the state does require that a separate item be taken under consideration. And so this is that particular ratification of that, and it must come after the budget, but before the approval of the tax rate. So that's why it's stuck in between these two particular items. This also has to be a record vote as well.
All right. Who would like to make the motion on that?
Yes.
Mayor, I'd like
This is
to make a
different.
motion for ratification of increased property tax revenues reflected in the fiscal year 2024 to 2025 annual budget adoption pursuant of ordinance 24-23.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? You got a second? Okay, got a second. And any further discussion? Okay, this is a recorded vote. So Paula, if you can please go around the room.
District 1 Alderman Miguel Aguirre.
Aye.
District 2 Alderman Richard Hughes.
Aye.
District 3 Alderman David Emery.
Yes.
District 4 Alderman Michael Rodriguez.
Aye.
And District 5 Alderman Matthew Martinez.
Aye.
Thank you.
All yeas, motion carries forward. Thank you, council. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 9, public hearing. A, conduct a public hearing concerning fiscal year 2024 to 2025 proposed tax rate of 0.398363 per 100 and assessed value for the fiscal year beginning October the 1st, 2024, ending September the 30th, 2025. Any
All right.
comments?
Uh,
I'm sorry. Did it show 6:49? We're going to go ahead and open the public hearing. Sorry about that.
No, you're
Zach,
good.
go ahead.
Mayor and Council, just as the caption indicated, this is the public hearing that is required before adopting the tax rate. At the at the August, one of the August council meetings, council did propose a tax rate of 398363 per 100 assessed value. For the upcoming fiscal year. That is what the budget was also based on. And so this public hearing is an opportunity for the public to comment on that as necessary.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and open it up, see if there's any comments from the floor. Going once, going twice, 3 times. Paula, if you can please reflect, no comments for the public hearing. And we will show the public hearing closing at 6:50 p.m. All right, let's go ahead and move on to item number 10, open session. Take action on items discussed. Consideration and possible action concerning setting a debt service rate of 0.071490 per 100 of assessed evaluation of all taxable properties within the corporated limits of the city of tax year 2024. Okay.
All right, Mayor and Council, state law does require us to, since we do have a debt rate that makes up the tax rate, we do have to approve the debt rate and the M&O rate, and then ultimately the full tax rate. So this first one is the debt rate of 0.071490 per 100 assessed valuation. This is not a record vote, but we do have a specific motion that does have to be made. So whoever would like to make that motion, I have a sheet for all 3 that are upcoming. So maybe I'll make that.
So Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve setting a debt service tax rate of 0.071490 per $100 of assessed value of all taxable properties within the corporate limits of the city for tax year 2024.
Does that match up?
That's perfect.
Okay. As long as we're okay, that'll be good. All right, got a motion. Do I have a second? Got a second. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. And you said we,
No record vote.
okay.
just-
So all those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, all yeas, motion carries forward. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and move on to B, consideration and possible action concerning setting a maintenance and operations tax rate of 0.326873 per 100 of assessed valuation of all taxable property within the corporate limits of the city for tax year 2024.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve setting a maintenance and operations tax rate of 0.326873 for $100 of assessed valuation of all taxable property within the corporate limits of the city for tax year 2024.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Yeah, second. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, so just in case you're wondering, it's those 2 amounts. So when you add the amount on the A and add the amount on the B, that's how we end up with the 39. Okay, the overall one altogether, in case you're looking at the numbers. All right, if there's no questions, this is going to be a recorded vote?
Nope.
None at all.
Nope.
Okay.
I know. The state's.
The next one, okay. Put it on those 2. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas, motion carries forward. Thank you. Let's go ahead and move on to C. Here we go. Consideration and possible action concerning ordinance number 2424, an ordinance of the city of Lytle, Texas, approving the 2024 ad valorem tax debit rate and the levy of 0.71490 per $100 of assessed valuation of all taxable property within the corporate limits of the city, and approving the 2024 ad valorem tax maintenance and operation rate and levy of 0.326873 per $100 of assessed valuation of all taxable property within the corporate limits of the city, providing for the assessment, levy, and collection of ad valorem taxes of the city of Lytle, Texas for the year 2024 and each year thereafter until otherwise provided, providing the date on which the taxes shall be due and payable, providing for penalty and interest on all taxes not timely paid, providing for incorporation of preamble, providing a repealer clause, a savings clause, and a severity clause, and providing an effective date. Zach.
Mayor and Council, this is the full tax rate. And so with the 2 combined items previously discussed, the maintenance operation and the debt rate, this one is, as Molly indicated, a record vote, but there is also a specific motion that would need to be made in approving it as well.
All right, Mayor, I'd make a motion that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.398368, which is effectively a 13.11% increase in the tax rate.
We add in the ordinance number being.
Yeah, the ordinance number being
2424.
24-24.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Okay, a second? Okay, any further discussion? Okay, this one is a recorded vote. And we'll go ahead and let me take that back. Let me just go ahead and go back to discussion real quick. I just want to remind everybody, once again, when you put the numbers together, we're still about 3 cents lower than any community around here. Is that about right?
Yeah. So I just looked at this I know specifically Medina County, any of the cities, the next closest is at 43 cents. And then they go even higher than that. I think the next closest, in any of the other counties are 3 or 4 cents higher, but they're also increasing. So it's potentially that gap could go even further.
So as a city, we're doing very well based on where we're at and where we're trying to keep our taxes compared to other communities and what we're actually doing. All right. So let me go ahead and jump back into the recorded vote. So Paola, if you can please take control of that.
District 1 Alderman Miguel Aguirre.
Aye.
District 2 Alderman Richard Hughes.
Aye.
District 3 Alderman David Emery.
Aye.
District 4 Alderman Michael Rodriguez.
Aye.
And District 5 Alderman Matthew Martinez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. All yeas. Appreciate it. Thank you, council. Taking care of our motion carries forward. Thank you. Appreciate that. Taking care of our city, both with the budget and also with our taxation that goes along with that. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to item number D, and this consideration of possible action concerning ordinance number 24XX, an ordinance of the city of Lidle, Texas, amending chapter 36, provisions and plats to amend section 36-3 and 3637 to define and incorporate fees associated with platting and to create and adopt section 36-66 to include fees for final plats, providing for incorporation of preamble, providing a repealer clause, a savings clause, and a severity clause, and providing an effective date. Zach.
Right. So, Mayor and Council, given what we have talked about previously, we are bringing forth the particular ordinance that is looking to amend our Chapter 36, which is our subdivision ordinance, specifically allowing for plat fees to incur or to be able to recoup the costs associated with developers, using our engineering and any attorney fees or anything like that when our engineer is reviewing and obviously Molly's group is reviewing. In practice, this is already happening, but obviously we wanted to make sure that it was in theory actually in the language of the ordinance. So that's all this particular item is doing.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is. So preliminary plat would be 75 plus actual costs incurred for the review, and then final plat is 50 application fee plus actual costs incurred for review. It is, as of earlier item.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just matches up with our fee schedule. That's good. All right. Do I have a motion, council?
I can make that motion, Mayor.
Okay.
Now moves that we approve ordinance 24XX, an ordinance of the city of Lidle, Texas, amending chapter 36 subdivisions and plats to amend sections 36-3 and 36-37 to define and incorporate fees associated with platting and to create and adopt section 36-66 to include fees for final plats, providing for incorporation of preamble, providing a repealer clause, a savings clause, and a severability clause, and providing an effective date of today, the 23rd of September, 2024.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? I have a second? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas. Thank you, council. Motion carries forward. Let's go ahead and move on to C, consideration and possible action concerning ordinance 24-XX, an ordinance of the city of Lytle, Texas, amending chapter 24, manufactured and mobile home and parks to provide for additional regulation of the same, providing for incorporation of preamble, providing a repealer clause, a savings clause, and a severity clause, and providing an effective date. Zach?
All right, so Mayor and Council, our law firm has been actively working on addressing some of the concerns that have been raised about our Chapter 24 of our ordinance regarding manufactured housing. And so the data sheet went through most of the changes that are being presented. I would say the biggest things are the definitions, basically removing the definitions and having a statement that they do refer back to the Texas Occupation Code's definitions for mobile home and manufactured home. Also beefing up our skirting requirements that for manufactured housing throughout the city. Obviously making sure it was really evident that we prohibit citywide the use of a mobile home. And of course, if you recall, mobile home is pre 76, I think. That's the right date. So prohibiting that regardless of where it is or its location, wanting to put in. Changing the Mobile Home Commission and all references to that to Manufactured Home Commission to clean that up, since we do not allow for mobile homes. So just to make sure that that made sense. And then I would say the biggest change, and something that I would imagine council, make sure the direction that y'all are wanting to go. We do not have any mobile home or manufactured home parks that are currently zoned appropriately in our city. So under the R3 zoning, that would be required. So the existing ones are what would be considered non-conforming, legally non-conforming. But there's language that we've added in here to suggest that they would, in those situations, they would be allowed to change out the manufactured home, but only one time would they be allowed to do that. Unless they were in an approved manufactured home park, then obviously that would be a use by right. But this would allow us to slowly start making the changes that council has directed, as that the zoning match more up to what the land use ultimately is. And so those changes would occur over time. Obviously, it's not immediate, but this is the tool that cities use. State law does state that you have to allow them to do it one time, but you don't have to do it anytime after that one time. And so that's why we've put that in there. You could come up with 2, 3. You just give us the direction, but that's what we put in there, is just the one time. So.
Yeah, and just a reminder for council, we with some of the other zoning areas that we did, we pretty much stuck to one. I like what you did on there in a sense of in case of a fire or natural disaster. So it gives that flexibility too.
And that
Okay,
is a
something does-
requirement per
Yep.
state law. Even if, let's say, one particular had a fire 5 different times, we'd still have to every single
Yeah.
time allow them. That is something that the state requires.
Yep.
So we don't want to penalize someone for something
Correct.
that an act of God,
Yep.
happens. So.
So we have that in place too on there. So this matches up to what we have done in other areas too. So it'd be consistent across the board. So, council, if I can get a motion for us?
Yeah, I can make a motion. Mayor, I move that we approve ordinance 24XX, an ordinance of the city of Lytle, Texas, amending chapter 24, manufactured and mobile homes and parks to provide for additional regulation of same, providing for incorporation of preamble, providing a repealer clause, a savings clause, and a severability clause, and providing the effective date of today, the 23rd of September, 2024.
Okay. Got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Got a second? Okay. Any further discussion?
So this and any other ordinance that the city passes and the council passes can come before the council or a committee for variance.
Yeah, so it wouldn't necessarily be a variance because it's in a separate chapter than zoning, but this doesn't negate the ability for anybody to go through the manufactured home commission, as we would be changing it to ask for a manufactured home. So even in the instance where it was in an existing park that wasn't zoned, and they wanted to replace it for a second time, they can, go through the manufactured home commission, and ultimately to city council would make that final call on those.
My
particular
main concern was
situations.
that a citizen wanting to put up a new mobile home
Mhm.
in their property or any property within the city limits.
Yeah, regardless of where it would be, regardless of what the zoning is, what it currently exists today, it doesn't get rid of that process as it exists today. So they would still be allowed to go through the manufactured home commission, who would
Right.
give a recommendation to council, and then council would have the ultimate say.
Can I just add, just for clarification to make sure, but we do have some zones, commercial,
That do not.
that do not, if you remember that. So just to add that to make sure, but those are the ones that are commercial. If it's residential, just follow the same procedures, just like everybody has.
That's correct.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yays. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right, we're doing really good. And we're going to move on to F, update and discussion regarding water well number 2. Zach.
So I don't have a massive update. We are currently working with UWR to go ahead and get the pump back into the well, so we can start running some tests on that. We have been back and forth with the some
Geochem?
state agencies, with TCEQ on some exemptions that are now required, given that the well was offline previously. It didn't matter because the well was established in 71, and then certain things were put in place like oil rigs around it and things like that after the fact. But now that it's been offline, we now have to get exemptions from certain things that exist just naturally out there. So we don't think it's going to be a problem to go through that route, but we are working on getting that squared away, and then at the same time be able to get the pump in and start testing and hopefully getting it going. So anything you want to add, Mayor?
No, I mean, honestly, every test that we've done pretty much doesn't show anything in a sense of where we have a compromise on the casing, where we have to worry about it. So we don't know if it's a level or the table of the Edwards Aquifer, just like anything, it tries to float. So maybe it's gone up and it's where it needs to be and it's keeping certain things. It goes down and it actually shifts. Maybe that's what happened. We don't know. Since it was a pretty good long period that it kind of stood there without anything going on. So the recommendation from everybody is to do the paperwork, go ahead and start put the equipment back in and start running the testing, and then be able to submit that for us. Once again, with the understanding that this well is only going to be there for emergency purposes. So this is just to have it up and running. We'll send our monthly ones. If we ever need to bring it back online, then we have the clearance to do that, just so we could have that one as a backup. We would hate to lose the well completely. It's more than 1.2 million. That's how much we paid for the last one. That has increased drastically now with the cost, just to be able to get a new well in there. Eventually, we will need to get there, and it'll be something that we'll be looking at. But right now, as a reminder, we got extension projects for the wastewater treatment plant, another elevated storage unit. We have all these water projects that we got to do. Those are our priorities to make sure that we can kind of keep the system. We're still within the capacity, but we're looking for the future So those are a little bit more of the priorities that we actually have. The good thing, council, is that we made a very good decision some years when we purchased that property where we have well number 4 at, and we have plenty of room to go ahead and put that one. So we already saved ourselves a lot of headaches. We don't have to go look for land or anything at all. All we need to do is just draw it up and put it out for bids and be able to do that. So we're sitting in a good position. But this way we can keep and save ourselves a little bit more than or a little bit shy of 2 million bucks and use it for some of our other resources that we actually need to take care of. Just so you know. So we just wanted to give you an update. We promised you all that we'll do that, and as we get more information, we'll go ahead and pass it on. Our city staff has been doing a great job just being able to take care of that. Okay. All right. With that in mind, we're doing really good. We're at 7:10. We're going to go ahead and go into executive session, but I do have a question for the department heads that are here. Are you going to stick around, or are you guys going to take off? I know we have the other department head reports. You guys going to stick around or take off? You're going to take off? That's okay. You're going to take off? Okay, council, I would ask if you allow me to do a little social thing real quick, because last meeting we didn't have a chance. So if I can do this to take care of this individual. Just because we follow a tradition. Daniel was here last meeting, but we went a little bit longer. By the time we came out, we missed him. We celebrated with the city hall, but guess what? You're a department head, and you get to celebrate with the council. That's how it works. So it was on the 20th, right? The 20th, he celebrated his birthday. So if you can please join me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday, dear Daniel. Cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you. Make wish. There you go.
All right.
Happy birthday, Daniel. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Good times. Good thing Richie, he'll be asking for the other one, but he no longer asks for it. You got to stay away from sugar. No sugars that goes along with that. All right. Thank you, council. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 11. This is executive session. This is City Council, City of Lidle may convene an executive session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney to discuss and consider the following items. A, discussion regarding management and governance letters presented by auditors for FY 2022-2023, and B, discussion concerning Medina County Rural Water Alliance. So Paola, if you can please show us, it's 7:13 right now. Go ahead and show us going into executive session. Council, if you all can, and Molly, if you can please join us in the back, I appreciate that.
All right, you're good.
We're back?
Yeah.
Okay, all up you can actually show is 8:38. No action taken. Inside here, let's go ahead and move on to item number 12. This is the discussion and possible action regarding matters discussed in executive session.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
I move that the council direct the city administrator to prepare a report on the information that we got from the auditor regarding management and governance letters for fiscal year 22-23. Prepare a report giving us corrected actions and expected completion dates, and report back to us the council meeting at the end of October.
Okay.
Mayor, I'll go ahead and second that motion.
Okay. Any further discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And this is on the second meeting.
Mayor, I'd like to make another motion.
Okay, go ahead.
I move that we authorize the mayor to enter into the interlocal cooperation agreement establishing the Medina County Regional Water Alliance.
On behalf of the city.
On behalf of the city, conditioned on the city administrator gaining clarification of initial cost and other questions as directed by the city council, and assigning the city administrator as the city of Lidle board member to the Medina County Regional Water Authority.
Got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Yes, Mayor, I'll second that
Got
motion.
a second? Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas. Thank you so much, council. Appreciate that. With that, it is 8:41. Let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break. We'll come back for the department reports.
Well, I have the second one written, I don't have the
All right, let's go ahead and get back. If you can show us back at 8:58, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into department reports. So first one that we'll have, Lynette, Finance. Here we go.
So this is for August 2024. Our major government funds are doing really well. The only thing we're a little low on is hotel tax, as y'all see there, but I haven't booked it for the month yet. But we are over in surplus on all of our major income accounts. On the court, they did very well this year. They are over on all of their revenue accounts as well. Water fees, we're a little bit under right now. We're still going to book. We have one more month to book. It'll come in about 70 or 80,000. So we will be a little under in water fees, but we made those up in impact fees and tapping fees. Overall, it was a really good, I would not say a good year, but we budgeted out correct. Sales of meters and lines is always very questionable. That's as if we're doing some kind of construction or something at somebody's house, or they're having to pay our public works to do the work for them. We did have a little bit of offset with some houses here, but that's not something I usually code or a lot of income to.
Can I jump in?
Of course.
On that particular one, when you go back to your budget document for this next year, because we can't rely on that, we took it out and just zeroed it out so that if we get the revenue, great, but that way we're not banking it as potential revenue and then we don't get it. So just FYI.
Gas revenue for the year, we still have one more month to book. We'll book about 40,000. We'll come out about even on that. So. And of course, this is the last time you'll be seeing this slide.
So is it one more bill
we have
they'll
one-
get, and that's
Yes.
that's it?
That's correct.
We have one more bill.
Yeah, there'll be a mail out. There'll be a mail out bill with WGG's information on there. Obviously, we'll probably put it in next time too, just to make sure that they know that it has switched. But I know West Texas Gas will also be selling seeds and stuff in there. They've gotten all the billing addresses on those, so hopefully pretty smooth transition.
And they're still going to have that one, their office here,
Correct.
right off of
So everybody will be able to pay down there. They'll have other options as well.
the automated also. Yeah. So we're going to have an office where some other cities do not have an office. We're going to have an office. It's already here. It's actually where the old Napa used to be on 2790 behind. It's an AC place, but it's just a little bit further. Yeah. Across from Lytle State Bank, that little shopping and storage area. There's one of the buildings that is on the left-hand side as you're going towards the storage areas.
Back in behind Katie Cross.
On this side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Then for the sewer fund, again, we still have one more month to bill, and numbers look really good there. Of course, we with the housing impact, we saw a lot of the tapping impact fees up. So. Court-wise, they will be going to examination and training, and they have a legislative update here shortly. The girls are going to be going with Judge Elise, I think, to Waco, I think is where we booked it. They're processing the year. They've got most of the stuff already in line, and we're just trying to get everything balanced on the GL. And they're still holding court by twice a month, not bi-weekly. I'm sorry, that's bi-monthly court over at the community center. And so far, it's going pretty good. Zach has gotten with Frontera, and they're getting the computers really better for the
When
VPN.
when are they going to be gone to Waco?
They are supposed to go to Waco. I want to, Paula, when did we book that on your credit card? November, November. Yeah.
Okay. Let's just make sure we get the word out, and
They're only going to be gone 2 days.
Yeah, I think we hand out stuff also with tickets, so somehow in there we tell so people are not trying to get a hold of them and they get frustrated.
Utility billing, there's nothing really major to support. We're doing in the year. The girls have already boxed up pretty much everything. We're waiting on Virginia's final numbers and stuff so we can have that in. And then the girls and I put in a lot of extra hours for the stormwater drainage project and getting the billing addresses and the non parcel addresses put in so we know where to bill. So it's turned out to be a little bit bigger project than we kind of thought it would be. But that is going really well, and we're almost done with that. The budget is final. We did that tonight. I've already have it installed into Encode and it's ready to go. Virginia can make her first packet today to roll into the new fiscal year. The end of month closing reconciliations are now in progress, and we're right on time where we need to be. And they are reviewing for the SEC bond rating review. And that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Lynette. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Thank you. We have collected for the month of August $13,700 in ad valorem taxes with a total of 1.011 million here. We didn't collect any beer or wine licenses for this month, for the month of August. Just a few of the things that I did, which is council meetings, attended the convocation at the school. We had a planning and zoning meeting, and I prepped the annual citizenship award committee meetings. And I do have two events coming up, which will be the National Night On in October. And I did last year a Halloween at the Gidley House, just to hand out candy for the kids. We never do anything for Halloween, so I decided to do that last year. So I'm gonna do it again this year. And another here that I have will be like open requests, open records requests. We had 3 requests in the month of August. I fulfilled those 3. I have nothing outstanding. We did post 37 agendas for the month of August. Completed 4 minutes for our meeting minutes. 2 ordinances were done, resolutions were 3, and proclamations we did 1 with 2 certificates of recognition. I don't have it here, but Mr. Meadows is the one that does the building permits. I take care of all the building permits. I've been working on that a lot, so he's the one that reports on everything, but I've been trying to finish all that, and it's like you finish emails, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to do my stuff, and it's like popping up again more, and it's nonstop. We do need someone as soon as possible.
We're working on trying to get somebody
Yes.
in there. Definitely.
Any questions?
Question on the beer. So is that reported like on a quarterly basis? Is that why it's like on the zeros and stuff like that? Or
That one is the ones that we actually do here, and they send us one. I think.
That is for the license. That's
Yeah.
only when they apply for a license.
Mhm.
And then we have beer and wine tax revenue.
Yes.
okay, got it.
So we haven't had any
But
in
it's
the
2
past 2
different
months.
deals.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's just as and then we have the revenue
Mhm.
separately.
Depends when it gets reported to us, so, by the time we have our.
If the entity doesn't pay for several months, which we have seen, you can see a drop from 200 and then all of a sudden there's 600 deposit. It just depends when they do their filing.
It's just besides what happened this weekend, we are noticing a lot more folks in the different establishments now, even with the new establishment that opened up with the old H&S was at, the Tejas, the 702. So it takes a while before all that. And that comes to you down, you get it from the state, basically. It's what they report. Okay. Just wondering, see how our sales are going in town. And just wondering, because that, oh yeah. Oh.
And that's still 2 months behind.
So our May, I was just telling Zach that our May came in at 1.12, but I think the logo was 104. Yeah, so that was for May. So we'll see what the summer break will come out for next year.
Bless you. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty, nothing on the sidewalks and streets there. Just a few little updates on the booster pump. Obviously, working with TRC on and also AG3, which is our inspection group that we hired to review those bids before we go back out, so we can add the milestones and things like that we discussed with council. As far as the elevated storage tank, we did receive the bids, but with the budget items and the tax rate this meeting, I did hold, and we'll have that on for next council meeting for awarding of that project. We did get 3 bids back, and each for a 250,000 gallon tank and a 400,000 gallon tank for those. So we'll be presenting those at the next meeting. And then the 12-inch main loop, we're just working on acquiring easements. Even today, had some conversation with HEB on the alignment across their property. Since the right-of-way over there is filled with a lot of other utilities, we're going to have to get some easements on some of these properties, so that way, instead of running it through the right-of-way. So we're working on that right now. So. For the residential developments, see the updated numbers here. So in phase 1, we just have 1 remaining under construction, 64 completed. Phase 6, 58 completed, 12 under construction, and then they are currently in phase 5, building out. 3 of them have already been completed and got 10 under construction, and another 8 under review with Paula and Aoka. So that's that one. On Rosewood, we have 35 completed homes out there, 19 under construction. Again, those same 6 on hold until the park is completed, is my understanding. Then they'll start moving on those 6 since they back up to that park. If you haven't been out there, they are making some progress on the park area, and it's starting to really, take shape. So I encourage y'all to go out there and take a look. And then phase 2 is under review with TRC, but we are expected to get the final, or at least the preliminary plat in front of P&Z and council in October, November. So
I was surprised that they went ahead and took care of the houses right next to where the elevated water tower. They put them up, and I'm like,
and that was part of the communication that when we did the pre-bid meeting for the elevated storage, we communicated to them that, hey, houses have gone up. So if you look at an aerial view, it's not what it looks like. Rosewood was actually the one that put that sign up. I don't know if you've seen where it says, new store. They did that on our behalf. They wanted to put that up for us. And then, so it's something that we're going to have to work through.
Yeah, it's going to, well, the thing, I feel bad for the homeowners because
Yeah.
you're going to have vehicles and stuff happening in there.
Yeah. And they knew that that's where it was the whole time. So it's not like it was any surprise to LGI. So, yeah. But, site and utility contractors, of course, are out at Lytle Farms. So you're seeing that one get going, and we're seeing that come along pretty well. And AG3 is out there, several times a week, just checking on the progress, making sure we're
good.
We're good, and that they're staying to what we need them to be. So, permit data, applications received, 2 new homes, 1 sewer, accessory building, a lot of solar. We're seeing a lot of solar pop up again. And then obviously permits issued were all the new homes between the 2 subdivisions out there. Inspections, pretty high on plumbing and building, a lot of driveways and things like that under the building side. So I see there for August. Only 1 CO, and that was the pump house car wash that the mayor apparently went to. So, that's all we had for month of August. Contract wise, just want to highlight a couple of things. CPS Energy, obviously, as we talked about, finalizing everything with WTG. So they're on board to take over 10-1, and it's looking really good. I actually met with, I went and had a meeting at CPS's location with WTG, and so they're finalizing everything of the transition and what that all looks like. And so everybody's kind of talking, and so that's a good thing. The brush collection, they did reach out. It does have an auto renewal clause in there. As long as the cost does not change and they are not asking for an increase to cost. So obviously we'll go ahead and get that taken care of. And then AT&T, slightly wrong. I was informed that there's one particular line that still is not canceled. So I apologize, but all the other lines have been canceled with AT&T, and we're starting to get some discrepancies in billing and things like that and work through some of that. But part of that is getting the equipment back, and like we've talked about. So
Which line is still open?
I don't even know which line it is. I can get you the phone number
Okay.
of line, but yeah, it's a weird.
I was just wondering, maybe I had with,
It's an odd number. Foster and I have called it. I didn't even know it.
So it's closed, so-
It
okay,
could be.
so,
Well, the only thing we know is the landline. It's a hard line.
so don't,
We have it, but Annalise thought maybe it was a line that is over at the community center. And it's just, that's what her thought process.
so first thing I would recommend is get with Robbie, because we have some lines that are for the outer dollar, outer dialer.
Yep.
So some are designated that way. So we do have some that are that. We might have fax lines that we took away the fax. We no longer use it, and it might be a fax line. Send me, if you have the phone number,
We can send it on.
send it to me, because I have it from 6 years ago when I did the whole check of all the lines. I had the phone numbers and I knew what they would belong to help you out.
We will
Okay.
do that. Code compliance. You see the spread issues that he's been dealing with, and I do want to highlight Hector, who took it upon himself to clean up the monument sign this past month. He really went over there and took upon himself, cleaned it, mowed it, and he's working with somebody to come in and actually for free, that the mayor got contacted about, but to actually power wash it as well. So, it's a big highlight. As you're coming into the city, you want to make sure our doorstep looks good, and so he really wanted to right on 35,
Stripes, yeah.
right in front of Stripes. So I want to commend him for doing that, and taking the time. Just miscellaneous updates, meetings that we had. The Stormwater Utility Fund obviously completed. Rise Fiber is completely in all the buildings and working and on. The gas system, obviously, we're finalizing as we talked about. I should receive later this week the final design for the plugging of well 3. And then obviously as the new budget comes into effect, we'll have a conversation on what that looks like, of actually doing the project, but we'll have the design in hand. The TCEQ violation was submitted in August. The letter responding to them, obviously the budget is completed. Two things: the Harshman property, we completed. This was a private fire hydrant that was out on 2790, outside of the city limits, but it was our line and our fire hydrant in the ETJ there that was not metered. It was a private hydrant. It was put in years and years and years ago. And so the Public Works have been working over the past couple months to relay a line and actually remove that fire hydrant from the property and make sure that we actually are accounting for water that's coming out of that property now appropriately. So that was a big project that we finally got completed this past month.
Any indication that they were ever drawing water out of it?
I don't know. Some say yes, some say no. So, and then the wastewater treatment plan cleaning, and I'll show you some pictures here in a second. Some update. They are not completed, but they will be back out here in the next couple weeks to finalize everything. Unfortunately, there was so much stuff that they cleaned out and they put into our drying beds. They filled all the drying beds up and can no longer put any more in, and so we needed to dry up and actually remove it, and then they can come back out and finalize that project.
Huge
there's a lot of
thing for
stuff.
us.
And like I said, here in a second I'll show you some pictures. It wasn't included Human resources, obviously, we got permit tech. I am talking to a couple of the public works employees and seeing what we can do as far as getting people over there for public works, because it always seems like someone's out and we're having to really get people on board. So trying to fill those positions, and then obviously I should take off animal control. I forgot to do so, but that obviously has been filled. So and then here is from the digester cleaning. So these are the holding tanks. We have 2 of them. And I asked Robbie today about approximately how deep are those, and he said about 17 feet deep, and it probably was sitting at about 15 in each of them, so about 30 feet of crap.
So this is.
Yeah, go ahead.
In here, you
Yeah.
can see the person, and you can see the height.
Yeah.
And there's 2. You can see it on.
Yeah, I mean, you can see,
Isn't it over?
yeah, up here, up at the top, you can see him standing in it.
And literally, we're right here.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you can see the mark right there.
It probably was higher. Yeah,
So it
yeah.
was all the way around, and it was filled in these 2 areas. And these are things that were neglected.
So I would like, if I go to the next one, you'll see what it currently looks like. So, very different.
Ain't it?
That was years of neglect.
Yep.
So, I can tell you, there's a few places that the big guy in the sky has been looking over us and just kept things working, but getting this one definitely with the capacity and everything, because we have more than enough capacity with what we have right now and the growth. It's going to be perfect timing with the new one, but we need to keep this. And that's the other thing that Robbie and them are doing, is putting some sort of rotation to do the maintenance that is supposed to be done at least once a year, so it never gets to that point where it's sitting all the way up here.
Who was that in it?
Hmm?
Who was the person that was in it?
Oh, that was the company that,
Company.
yeah, that we hired.
Oh,
Yeah.
But you can see how big they are, the areas.
Yeah.
And it's 2 of them, right?
Yeah, there's 2 of them. And then they're about 60%. So again, they had to stop because of everything. So the clarifier is also, we have 2 clarifiers. So the clarifier, once that's done, it'll look pretty much the exact same as the past one.
So is that the one over there by Silverman?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't have an after picture, of course, for the clarifier, but once they're
Don't
done.
get us a lot, don't get us in there. So, but yeah, this is big. So just like Zach said, just so you're aware, where we're using our money and how it's going to make it a lot better for us. So it's a good thing.
So then, as the mayor mentioned, this resulted in scheduling maintenances.
Yeah, and I've talked to this particular waste stream, as well as kind of how we found them, gentleman, and he has some other suggestions for out there to really, because this was only really the 2 holding tanks and the 1 clarifier. So we'll be talking to him about some additional things that probably need to be taken care of, and I've asked him for providing some checklists and things to help our guys be able to really move forward after they leave and be able to tackle it. So yeah, so they're a wealth of knowledge and happy to help us.
So
Be good. Be good.
That's it.
All right, Zach. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Any questions for any?
You're not gonna do Chiefs?
He does the opposite.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say, I think, there was a couple of things I wanted to talk about.
put your mic on.
Yes, sir. There was a couple of things I want to talk about, like the homeless that are around here. Is there anything that the police can do?
So let me just give a reminder, but don't hesitate to be able to get it through so we can take a look at it. So the way it works with the homeless is the property owner has to come to us and tell us that they don't want them in their property. So the one that normally is, they're at the church. Until the church comes over and tells us that they don't want that person, we cannot do anything to that person. the property owner has to come over and say, hey, I don't want this person on my property. And then we can get involved to be able to take care of that. This person, if it's still the same person we're talking about, this person has already, we've gotten them rides to family, to other people, or assisted the person. But for some reason, they end up coming back over here.
It's that, and there's, I think, two more other ones. But I mean, the other ones look new. I've never seen them.
I can tell you that the two properties where they usually hang out with, the property owners have not said, I don't want them on my property. And everything else is public, so we can't do anything. Is that correct, Molly?
To a certain extent, yes. If it's on public property, they have a right to be on public property. They can't be living there forever. So to a certain extent, yes, the public is different. We would have to be careful how we treat that. There's no, they can't be panhandling or loitering there, living there. They can be there for a period of time, but we do have some parameters that we can put in place. But yes, you can't just.
And I know. I mean, I thought maybe the cities, they have their own ordinance about that stuff like that. But I mean, to me, a lot of that's not even private property. But I'm also saying that if we can help them get help somewhere, but like you
Right.
said, they keep on coming back.
They keep coming back.
But no, I just got a couple of people calling me, and
Yep.
So that was that.
I do know,
Yeah.
Chief has on several occasions gone. Chief has on several occasions tried to work with them, got them rides. Said, "Hey, can we take you up to San Antonio? Can we take to the
Take them.
facilities? We will take them." And I know he's tried on multiple occasions. They either come back or if they refuse, like we can't force them, to go. So that's been.
Yeah, because one of them that I see mainly moving around everywhere look like they really need some help, like real deep medical help.
Yeah.
So I also will tell you that I know, I think who you're talking about, and I'm friends with a couple over at Camino Real, and there have been several. They have gone into respite over there, but they are not, unless they want to help themselves, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
So but their measures are being taken. So, and Chief was in today talking about another situation, and he's well aware of everything going on.
Yeah, but they have transported to Haven for Hope. They have transported to hospitals. It's just
Yep.
they come back.
The main thing is, and there is one property owner that I wish they would not allow them to put stuff and live out of that area, because it makes it more inviting. But we can't stop the property owner from doing that. Now, there is some things in a sense of hygiene and stuff that we can kind of put a little bit of, hey, you can't be doing that. But certain things, the property owner allows them to stay and put some mattresses down and they can sleep there.
Well, just that
See what I'm saying?
one of them also looks like I don't know how they're getting money to. I mean, it looks like you see a car come pick them up and drop them off. So I don't really know what's going on behind that, but
Yep.
anyway, yeah, I get calls on that. So
Yep. Anything comes up, definitely talk to Richie or talk to
Yes.
Zach directly. And be able
And
to
then
do
the
that.
other thing was lighting down the main street here. They can get more light, what I heard too. So we're taking care of a little further down,
Yeah.
thanks to my phone law. But like in the parade, I mean, it was like a lot of dark areas.
So yes and no. Okay, so we definitely need to look at all the lighting that goes along with that. But I will tell you that the people that I talked to that said, hey, the lighting was bad, we couldn't really see, it was some of the floats that didn't have any lighting. And people wanted to take photos and they couldn't get good photos of the people and there was no lighting. If you have, I'm not saying no, I'm just saying that when you have a nighttime parade, you're supposed to put lights on your stuff. You're supposed to brighten it up, because that's how you get the effect of a nighttime parade.
Yeah, because I couldn't see the people because mine was too bright all night.
There you go.
Mine was too bright.
So I'm just saying there's a flow. Now, in a sense of take the parade away and just make a judgment call about the lighting on Main and taking a look, yes, that's something that we need to look at. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
That would be a good idea, especially towards the VFW Memorial on that side. I mean, we've had a rash of
Yeah.
auto thefts and car burglary, and it's really dark over there, and they were pretty much hitting that whole area in that
Yes, sir.
part of my district right there, right?
Yep.
And they were coming across from the railroad tracks into that area. Robbie is doing a good job of trying to get that cleaned out. I understand it takes equipment. It's going to take some time, but they're working on it. So
Yeah.
credit for that. But we should look at something on that side of town, because again, that's where everything was happening, was that side of town.
No, we need to look at the lights, the inventory, see which one's on. And I will tell you that we have gone into some locations and cleared out the branches, and all of a sudden we realized there was a light. It was covered up. We didn't know that there was a light, and it was out or it was just covered up. So we definitely need to go ahead and take care of that without a doubt. But those are the decisions we need to make without the parade. It should be just based on the normal operations out of that to try to try to do that. Okay. Want to go around the room, see if we have anything with informational.
Viola, the form's going to be coming out in this billing period? Okay, so the annual citizenship award nomination period is going to begin on October the 1st, and it's going to go through the 31st. Your utility bill will have nomination forms. The committee will also be present at the National Night Out. So we plan on having a table out there. We'll have some forms. So if anybody has any questions or want to come and fill out the form or drop it off, please do so. The form is going to be restricted to one category per nomination submittal. So on that form, you can do the group, honorable mention, youth, adult, or lifetime. And if you have multiple entries that you want to do, or even for the same person, you can be required to make an additional form for each category.
Good.
But just as a reminder, that's coming up. It's October the 1st through the 31st. And we look forward to having a good year this year. Hopefully we get a lot of nominations.
That'll be good.
Yes, sir.
That'll be good. Thanks for all the work. I know you guys been meeting, so that's good.
Good
That is
committee.
good.
Thank you.
Anything? Nothing else?
The only thing is, I know it was included in the packet, but I accidentally left it off the agenda. Keep it on there going forward, but if you have anybody or know somebody in somebody whose district is in on that list,
Yep.
get to that person.
Yeah. If you need to get a person, just get with. There might be a possibility. Hey, just say, hey, I need somebody, and let Zach send something out to the council, and just say, hey, we're looking from any district, and then we can go ahead and get you somebody.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'd also like to state that citizens out there, if you want to be on a committee and you may not know who your representative is, you could just come to the city office and ask and let them know what committee you want to be on. They can look if there's an availability. They can look and see what district you're in. And if there is a spot and your council person agrees to it, I mean, that right there. So if you've ever wanted to be on a committee, please come to the city and let them know. Let us know and we'll put you definitely on a committee.
Roger that. Also, Zach, I've been noticing it stayed on, right? So thank you for resolving it. So council, the issues that we've been having, in case you were talking to some of our citizens with our YouTube, is because the old laptop was not being able to handle it anymore. So we swapped out laptops, and I've been watching it throughout the night, and it seemed like it stayed on. So I think we're back to full recording and having to capture all of our meetings. Okay, nothing. Molly?
The parade was excellent. Well done.
Appreciate.
Whole city staff and you
Thank you.
contributed.
We had
Directing and everybody was great.
a lot of folks got involved. Lots and lots and lots. Miguel? Nothing.
Just to follow up on the National Night Out, I had a table last year. I've reserved a table again this year. I went over to Somerset where they make a lot of political signs and banners and things. I just got a banner made up with my picture and said my name and District 3 councilman. and put it on the table there. Honestly didn't have many people stop by and talk to me, but at least, making a show. Because a lot of citizens are there. My territory's out mostly at Lakeshore, and I guess a lot of folks don't come in for the National Night Out, but you might think about calling Richie and reserving a table. And you don't need to buy a big banner or anything. You just, do a little paper sign and put it in front of the table of who you are and wear your shirt and be there. And meet people.
What day is that?
1st of October,
October, let's see.
right around the corner, community center. Okay. Anything else? Okay. I just want to echo, just like Molly was talking about, and I want to say thanks to everybody. There was lots of folks, but without a doubt, the parade was just a huge home run across the board. When you get a call today and or information being passed on, when you have people that were in our city that week or that night, and they're not from the city, they live here, they leave here, they go back to Robstown, and they're talking about Lytle had a parade, and they just happen to mention it to somebody that knows somebody from Lytle, and then that person calls back to over here and lets you know, hey, just want to let you know, I heard that Lytle had a great parade. That speaks volumes right there. Volumes. So I think it was a great event. Kudos all the way around. A lot of people. Zach helping out. My battle buddy was Ashley. She was out there. She did a lot of stuff. David. I mean, you guys were participating or being in it and just helping out with the crowd and everything else. I mean, that is a huge thing. So stand by on what else is going to come out of it and what is going to be next. But I think we struck gold on that one without a doubt, and people are looking and lots of great ideas to come. I do want to personally thank Paola and the staff for completing another year. This is our second year of outreach programs, and I think they've gone very well. So appreciate it. I know the staff has helped out too with some of those. How'd it go with the luncheon, with the seniors luncheon? Good. And they're going to continue having those, right? Yeah.
We ate the leftovers.
Yeah. So our seniors program is going to continue. The outreach we'll pick some days, right? Create the schedule, put it out there. So we'll have 4 next year where we bring them in as a lead in throughout the summer and everything. So that's going to work out really good. But the seniors, that definitely is taking off and a lot more people participating and looking forward to it. So that worked out. That worked out really good. Do want to go ahead and once again, the National Night Out on the 1st of October over at the Community Center. Please make sure you pass, the word around and let people know about that. I think it's going to be a great event outside with all the fire trucks and everything else, emergency vehicles, emergency response vehicles, and then inside with all the vendors and everything else that goes along with that. So please do that. Also, please pass on this weekend. On Sunday, the 29th of September, St. Andrews has a big festival, the annual festival. So please pass the word around, let folks know, and be able to come hang out. So it's going to get really busy right here on that Sunday, but it should be a very good event too. We also have this Friday and this whole week, we have a lot of activities happening with our school. This is homecoming week. So I think our bonfire is on Wednesday. And every day they're doing something special over at the school. I think today was pajama day or something like that. So they're just getting lead in to go ahead and do that and be able to do that. Okay, so birthdays, we got Danny on the 7th of October. We got Lydia at the 8th of October. Brianna on the 13th. Hector on the 21st. And then we got Richie on the 31st. So Richie's birthday right around the corner. Uh-huh. Yeah, so we'll still have a chance. Hopefully he doesn't skip out on the next meeting, so we'll be able to see him. But just so you know. And then lastly, I have for you, and we'll go ahead and conclude. I will tell you that tonight we did take a lot of extra time with dealing with some of the issues for our city. But I just want to say thank you. The time and the effort and the discussions that we actually have just shows the significance of how much you care about this community. And that's what our citizens expect from us. So thank you for caring so much and making sure that we cover and we take care of them as best as possible. So I know we went a little bit longer than expected, but I think it was very well used time to make sure that we take care of our city in the long term. With that in mind, any
Yeah,
last?
real quick, just a little bit
Yes.
more on the bonfire on Wednesday night. I was at the faith leaders meeting here last month. They're going to have food trucks this year for the bonfire. There's going to be some music going on out there, so it's more a community type event to get the whole community out and fired up, not just the school groups. So if you've never gone to one of the bonfires at school before, it's going to be bigger this year. It's going to be better this year. It's going to be really an outreach to the city. So it's a big deal. Back behind the practice football field behind the junior high.
Should be good. Give yourself a little extra time for parking.
Yes.
Maybe get over there because they have that. Okay. Anybody else? That in mind, it is 9:39 p.m. Get a motion for us to go ahead and adjourn.
Mayor, I move that we adjourn.
Got one? Got a second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Yays. Thank you so much. Great meeting. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great evening.